How's it going? I'm Ryan. Today I'm going to go over the two trades that I took on ES. Took a loss to start the day, just got a small win to bring us essentially back to break even. So we'll go over those two trades, why I took them. Let's start by looking at the 15 minute. So in 15 minute, previous day we had a nice trend down, then we kind of found our bottom and then consolidated and chopped sideways. That's true for both NQ and ES. Downtrend, found our lows, and then moved sideways throughout the after hours in the pre-market. It's really what I was looking for, is a break out of this pre-market range, either to the upside or the downside, and then look for continuation. ES was the first one that gave us that. NQ was lagging a little bit behind, while ES broke and closed above pre-market high. So at this point I was looking for an opportunity to long. Now I waited for this next candle because we didn't get a super hard or a super strong close above pre-market high, but we did pull back and hold this level I have here at like 415. So we held here, and then we got a nice jump in volume, a new high, and a close high. And at this point, I was looking for some sort of entry. We pulled back towards pre-market high, and then I entered following us holding that here. So kind of looking at this, move up, a little pullback, breakout, pullback, looking for continuation. So I took a long here. 12 contracts per account, so 36 total between the three accounts. I placed my stop below this level right at 415. My take profit was I guess that's the wrong one, was 424, so up here, looking at kind of like where these lows are here. So looking for 6 points to the upside, I entered around 418. 6 points to the upside, 3 points to the downside, so about a 2-to-1 risk to reward there. I got stopped out. We kind of just chopped around and consolidated. We never really got that continuation. I think this was, fall to me. It is this setup that I would take, and I don't hate the setup, especially in here as we're holding that pre-market high, holding that EMA. I think this is a valuable lesson that I could look at this and say, yeah, I'd probably take this trade again. But we do have FOMC interest rate decision today, so expecting us to get like a nice trending morning on that day is probably a little foolish. So maybe probably should have at least maybe taken this with reduced size due to it being FOMC day. So that's something I could have considered. Additionally, I could have got a little bit better of an entry and then a little bit tighter of a stop below the EMA. This move here would have stopped me out, but I would have got stopped out regardless. So maybe taking a little bit tighter stop and then reducing my risk as well would have helped. But that's it. We did get some indication on the 15 minute. These two 15-minute closes did not give me confidence that we were going to go higher. And then we started to show some weakness in the 5-minute as well, failing to close higher. So, there's some signs that might not work out, but I didn't want to deviate once I took the trade. I was in it. Just let it play out. Second trade I took, and now it's looking like there's a lot more room for it to run. But basically, it was just once we got this rejection, we lost the 200 EMA. We lost 200 EMA, then we retested it and rejected it, and I entered short right after. Entered short. Initially, my take profit was pre-market low, but then I decided to trim profits up here just in case we bounced, and then left my runner for just above pre-market low. So we did make most of that loss back. It was a smaller move because, like I said, I did take profit a little earlier on this. So we could have had a profitable day, or at least a break-even day, but we're down $50. That's not much at all. We're fine with that. That's a very acceptable loss. This second trade that I took, I'll go over it a little bit more. So basically, when we are trending in one direction and then we have a severe pullback and we lose the support or the resistance of the 200 EMA, when we flip that, usually I expect a kind of a larger drop or rally from there. Whenever you lose that EMA is kind of your trend indicator, it seems to be like a good sign of a pretty decent move out of that as well. So here we're in an uptrend temporarily, not really, but the EMAs were uptrending. We were moving higher on the day, making higher highs and higher lows, and then we lost that, right? We had a pretty serious pullback. We lost that EMA. We retested it, couldn't reclaim it. So I entered short, placed my stop above the EMA. It was about 2-point stop. And yeah, it was just targeting a continuation to the bottom of this range, essentially, was the idea. So that worked out. Not a trade that I would typically take, so maybe shouldn't do that. But it is a trade that, I mean, I've taken it before. Like I said, losing that EMA support, that 200 EMA, and then just looking for, like, especially on rangy days like today, where we kind of had a fake breakout, and then we pull back into the range, we lose that support, and then we were shooting for us to move back down to the bottom of that range. And likewise, if we did it, you know, if we were downtrending and we shot up and we recovered and held that EMA, then you might look for it to return towards the top of the range. So yeah, maybe not the most A+ setup. Usually my trades are looking for trending markets, and we didn't really have that. So overall, we have essentially a break-even day. $50 loss is very acceptable. And yeah, it helps. It helps make up pretty much all that loss that we just took. So today's our first losing day on these new PAs. We knew it was going to happen. It's just a matter of time. Trades don't always work, but happy to mitigate that with a little scalp to bring us back to essentially, you know, a very, very small, very manageable red day as it is. Should have, I mean, I knew coming into it today was FOMC, so we might not get good price action. And yeah, I think it's just a note for myself on these big news days. Maybe if I'm going to trade, maybe take it with a reduced size, just because it's pretty common for the market to not move very well on those mornings. So just a little side note for myself. I knew better, and I probably could have gone into this a little bit more cautious, but it's a win for me. You know, I followed my rules. We did take a setup that I would normally take. Just the circumstances probably dictated maybe sizing down or staying out. And then I was able to take the scalp, which I probably normally wouldn't take. But we decided to, and it did play out pretty well. So trying to add it to my arsenal. Like on days like this, there's choppy days, there's rangy days. But you know, it still is moving, you know, from pre-market high to pre-market lows, like 12 and a half points. That's a pretty decent move on ES. So if you can capture a little piece of that, it's not bad. So there are opportunities on range days. Just got to find a way to capitalize. That's all I got. Thanks for watching. We'll be back tomorrow, hoping to get a better day. We have a lot of news this week. This week's pretty news heavy. I just closed my my screenshot that had all the news on it, but we have pretty good news coming out. I think like employment and GDP or something coming out Thursday, Friday. So hopefully some better price action, some bigger moves. I missed yesterday. Yesterday was a nice textbook downtrending day, which would have been pretty profitable. But yeah, happy to escape today with a very small loss. It's very manageable, and we're completely fine with it. That's all I got. I appreciate you watching. I'll be back tomorrow. Hope you have a great day. Peace.